What's up, everybody? This is Inside the Ring. We are your host, Mike, and with me via satellite, Ray. Ray, how you doing?
Good, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. And when we mean by satellite, we mean Skype, which was a very good idea on your buddy Sean. Give a little quick shout out to Sean. But this song here, Michael Jackson, "Remember the Time." This is kind of paying homage to the King of Pop, who recently
greatest
passed.
Entertainer of all time.
Who just recently passed a couple, yesterday.
Yeah.
So, the only, let me stop this because it's kind of ruining my train of thought. I guess
it's just too catchy. You just want to get up and start dancing.
You know, I'm a fan of Michael Jackson. I'm not gonna lie.
What is it, man?
But you know, you call him what you want. You wanna think about the trials of the two kids and stuff like that. Go ahead. You know, it's not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna hurt anybody else who's a fan.
I've ignored all that, man.
It really. How can you really go and think of a guy who's done a lot for, you know, us music wise, and then you're gonna go ahead and tarnish him for two things that may have been completely made up because people are just out for the money.
After his money, yeah.
You know, he did settle for what, $20 million, $27 million to the first kid, allegedly.
Yeah. Probably all gone by now.
And yeah, where's he at? You don't hear nothing from that guy anymore.
Nope.
You know, I wish he does the right thing and then comes out and maybe go ahead and say what actually happened.
Yeah, man.
But they're not going to do that because they'll lose all that money.
Yep.
And then it comes out with the second kid, you know, when he was on TV holding hands with that kid. And, you know, it did look bad because of some of the words he said. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's too coincidental. I mean, the way it looked on video, it probably put some thoughts in the family's head, and they're like, hey, you know what? We can make money out of this. And
right.
But you know what? Instead of, you know, talking about that crap, let's just talk about, you know,
good things.
Yeah, good things. It's stuff that he's done for us.
Dude, he was like, the greatest, man. I don't remember any other artist who would come out on a Saturday around 7, 8 o'clock at night and debut a video.
But you know what was also great was most of his videos were like movies. They were like little short films.
They were awesome.
You know,
you remember that video for "Remember the Time"? Had Magic Johnson in there, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
great.
I liked it. It was great. As a matter of fact, I could tell you where I was at a friend's house when when it debuted, and it was the best thing that ever. I mean, there was a bunch of us, and it wasn't just my friends. But I was at my friend's house, and we had a bunch of our family over, and it was like 3 families that all sat around that TV just to watch the debut on that video.
Yep. So same here, man. I remember I had to rush my mom home. We were out shopping. I was like, we gotta go, screaming in the middle of a store, man. It was insane. I remember Mom was getting so pissed off. It was great.
So, which kind of brings me to my little short story real quick, if that's possible. When I was a little kid, Thriller came out. And growing up, you know, when you're a kid, you grew up to cartoons. Well, after Tom and Jerry was done, it was MTV all day.
Oh, yeah.
It was music videos. That's when music videos were the stuff back then, you know?
Yeah, the 80s.
Now they got these reality shows that's a piece of garbage. But when I was a kid, the Thriller video came out. And I really don't share this much from it, you know, with anybody, but I'm gonna just go ahead and expose myself. The movie, I mean, well, it actually was a short movie. I'll be sitting in front of the screen, and then the song will kick in. I would be enjoying the song, but there's a part of that show, that little movie, that the zombies started to come from the graves.
Yeah.
The moment I first saw that dead hand, you know, the grass moving because the zombies were coming out, man, I booked it to my room. The TV would be left on. Nobody would be in the front room. I was scared to death of those
Yeah,
zombies,
crazy.
and I'd be enjoying the rest of the song from my room. I just didn't want to see those zombies.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, that was me back then.
not me. I loved it.
And another short story was the video for "Beat It" that came out. Remember that red jacket he had?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had a red windbreaker, and the video was just freshly out. Of course, my name is Mike, and my family members called me Michael. So I went ahead and one family picnic. I went to a picnic, um, and I wore that jacket. Man, it must have been like maybe 85 degrees outside, and I still wore that jacket. And I remember when we got there, all my cousins were already there at the playgrounds, and as soon as I got there, they were all screaming Michael, and I felt for just a smidget of a time that, man, I do feel like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But those were my two memories. What else do you got?
Dude, I mean, I have just two big memories. One that I always share with a lot of people about just a memory with my dad. We were buying a TV one time, and I can't remember how old I was. I was really, really small. And we were at Circuit City buying this big TV for the living room, and the debut of that video came out of him dancing with the rabbit.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I remember I stopped there, and I never seen it, the video, and I was like, oh my God. I just stood in the middle of the aisle, and my dad's like, we got to go. The TV, they're going to put it into the car right now. I was like, dude, I got to watch this video. And my dad stand there with me in the middle aisle until the whole video finished. And it was just a good moment just to kick with my dad, watch the video, go home. And I was just so excited. I got to listen to it again. I got to find it again. I got to find it again. Man, that was one of my greatest memories of Michael. And then another one is basically just when I moved into a certain town that I was living before, I was one of two guys in the whole neighborhood, and there was about 14 girls that lived in the neighborhood. So I had a lot of girlfriends that I grew up with, and they used to teach me how to dance. And we used to dance in the living room and stuff. And we used to put on Beat It, Michael Jackson, Thriller, all that stuff. And I would learn how to dance to it. And it was great because I was spending all this time with all these little hot chicks around the block and just dancing to Michael Jackson. So it was just good memories that I had growing up.
Yeah. There's so much more, and we can go on forever, but that would just that's an entire show in itself.
I mean, I'm listening to all these stories on the radio, and it's exciting because you can hear years by every story. You can just hear all these people, man. Like they lived their life, and every time like something happened major in their life, it involved Michael Jackson in some weird way. Like it was just it's impressive to me. It was very exciting to hear a lot of these stories on the radio. So I'm glad we could spend this time and kind of share our little memories of Michael Jackson.
Well, it's deserved, Like I said, people can call it what they want. All the haters, all the bashers, they could say whatever they want. First of all, it was never proven. It never
Yeah.
went. It never went to trial. And let's just remember the guy who gave us the music. That's it.
Yeah, man. It just sucks now that all you hear, like if you listen to the news, is all about what's going to happen to the kids and his property and all this stuff, like that. And it's kind of like I wish they wouldn't talk about that. And let's talk about his music. The only people who are doing him right now are the radio stations. They're actually talking about his legacy, his music videos, the fans who adored him, all his shows and everything. And it's good to hear the radio because they're coming with positive stuff for Michael. But everything you hear on the news it's kind of negative, and you don't want to hear it, man. I want to give like props to the radio stations, man. They're doing a really good job with the Michael. They're putting his music on all day, and it feels good, man.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it sounds good when you get to hear the songs from all the way from the '60s all the way to what could have been his last album.
Yeah.
And man, I tell you what, if that tour ever came here to the States, I would have definitely went.
Oh yeah, man.
It's just a shame. I was even telling my wife that if Mike doesn't